Okay, so what if the world just paused? I don't mean for everyone. I mean for everything except you. Today, we're going to dive into a pretty wild story, one that explores what could happen on the day reality itself seemed to hit the pause button.
So, our story kicks off on what seems like a totally normal Friday afternoon. The date is September 23, 2022. The time, 3:47 p.m. And the location is absolutely key. Times Square, New York City. I mean, if something truly bizarre was going to happen, this is the place, right? It's got to be one of the most recorded, most surveilled spots on the entire planet. And this is where it gets real. We're talking about 10,000 people. That's the number of witnesses who all saw the exact same impossible thing at the exact same moment. This isn't some blurry photo or a weird shadow. This is a massive shared experience.
So what did they see? Well, they saw the sky. Pause. Yeah, you heard me right. For a full 47 seconds, it's like someone literally hit the pause button on the universe. Reality as we know it just stopped processing.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of what actually happened when the world froze, but the people inside it didn't. This is where the story goes from weird to something else entirely.
So, just imagine this. Clouds, they just stop moving. Birds are literally hanging in midair. Raindrops, totally frozen in place between the sky and the ground. But the people, you, me, everyone there, we could all still move, think, and, completely freak out. And this lasted for exactly 47 seconds. Then, poof, everything just resumed. The consistency of this across every single witness, every camera, that's what makes this so chilling.
And like I said, this wasn't some vague sighting. We're talking 10,000 witnesses, zero doubts. This was a collective experience captured on thousands of phones and cameras, leaving absolutely no room for doubt. Listen to this from a tourist named Sarah Martinez. She said, "I looked around and saw everyone else freaking out because they could move too, and we all just stood there, watching the world frozen around us." See, that's the crucial point here, the collective consciousness. Everyone knew they were all experiencing the same impossible thing together.
And it gets even crazier. This wasn't just something they saw. A delivery driver, Michael Chen, said, "The rain was falling, then it just stopped. Drops hanging in the air. I reached out and touched one. It was there, solid." Can you believe that? He touched a frozen raindrop. This just shows the tactile nature of the event. The paused world was physically real. You could interact with it.
But for me, this next detail is the real mind-bender. It comes from Dr. Amanda Foster, a physicist who just happened to be there. She said, "My phone showed no time had passed, but my watch now showed 3:48 p.m. We lost 47 seconds, or gained them, or existed outside time." Whoa. Her digital phone, no time passed. Her analog watch, 47 seconds gone. This was the first piece of hard data suggesting a fundamental break in the laws of physics. Okay, but here's the most bizarre detail of all. When the pause ended, everything, the birds, the rain, all of it, reset to its state from 47 seconds before the pause, except for the people. Seriously, it's like a video game rollback that affects the world, but not the player characters. You remember the glitch, but the game acts like it never happened. So you've got this undeniable video evidence and thousands of witnesses. The world, naturally, scrambled for an explanation. I mean, how do you even begin explaining the impossible?
All right, so theory number one, mass hallucination. This is the simplest explanation, the first place your mind goes, right? The idea that some chemical or psychological event caused 10,000 people to have the exact same delusion at the same time.
But yeah, that one got shot down pretty fast because, hallucinations don't appear on hundreds of independent physical cameras. The hard evidence from security footage and smartphones just immediately debunked that whole idea.
So that brings us to a more exotic explanation. Theory number 2, time dilation. Now we're getting into some fun physics, a concept from Einstein where time passes at different rates. Maybe some kind of localized gravitational anomaly, like a tiny black hole whizzing by, could have caused it?
It's a really cool idea, but this theory hits a wall. Time dilation explains time moving at different speeds, sure, but it doesn't explain the reset. It can't account for reality literally rolling back to a previous save point.
With the other theories falling apart, people started looking at a fringe idea, one that's usually just for late-night dorm room talks. And that brings us to theory number 3, the simulation hypothesis. The theory that our reality is just one big sophisticated computer simulation.
And suddenly, it became the most plausible explanation on the table.
And honestly, when you break it down, it just clicks. 1. The simulation gets a bug, maybe a processor overload, and it pauses. 2. All the non-conscious stuff, the environment, freezes. 3. The conscious observers, the so-called players, keep operating on a separate system. 4. The simulation reboots from its last save point, resetting everything. And 5. The players remember it all because they experienced the 47-second downtime. It's the only hypothesis that explains every single bizarre detail. All the pieces just fit.
So if we are living in a simulation, what does that even mean? If this theory is right, it has absolutely profound implications for our understanding of consciousness, of reality itself. Dr. Foster, the physicist, she argued that the glitch proved a fundamental separation between our minds and the world we live in. She said, it suggests consciousness cannot be simulated, that we, the observers, are fundamentally different from the observed world. We're not just part of the program, we're the players. And here's the thing, the Times Square event wasn't a one-off. It was just the start. Soon, smaller glitches started popping up all over the world. A 15-second one in Tokyo, an 8-second one in Berlin, a 23-second one in Sao Paulo.
And a really unnerving pattern started to emerge. The glitches were happening more often, but they were getting shorter and with fewer witnesses. It's like a bug being patched, as if whatever's running the simulation is learning and trying to contain the errors.
Which leads us to the most unsettling question of all, one that really challenges the whole nature of what happened. Because if you can pause reality, you can probably do a lot more than that. Think about it. Why didn't the simulators just erase the memory of the glitch? If you control the whole simulation, you can definitely control memory. You could just wipe the event from everyone's minds. So why let the witnesses remember?
And this is the final thought the story leaves us with. Is it just a bug in the code, or is it a message intentionally left behind, telling us to wake up? So the next time you see a little glitch in your reality, maybe it isn't a mistake. Maybe it's an invitation.